Welcome to the Wind Up with Will, everyone. I'm your host, Will, here with another video. And today I'm going to be talking about the end of season MLB awards, kind of a watch or kind of an award race watch, I guess you could say. I've got my Notre Dame shirt on today, and we'll be watching a lot of college football this afternoon. But I'm here to talk some baseball, and hopefully next week I can get a college football and NFL video out. So my MLB end of the season awards. This is kind of just how players have played so far. There's less than a month left in the season. This is where the award watching is at the moment of who's kind of the favorites or who has a good shot to win it. So we're going to start with the MVPs. In the National League, my MVP pick is Shohei Ohtani. I think he's had the best year so far. It's kind of a slam dunk. It's really him against everybody else, unless he just gets injured at this point in the season and just misses out the rest of the season. I think he's got the MVP locked up. He's got another 40 homer season. Let me get his stats out real quick. He's got He's got 48 home runs, 279 batting average, 92 RBIs, 1,000 OPS. He's still on a lot less bases this year, only 18, but he's also been pitching some and pitched effectively when pitching. What were his pitching stats? His pitching stats, he's pitched 12 games. He's got 1-1 on the year with a 3.75 ERA. Not horrible, but not great either. But that combined with his hitting ability, I think it's the difference. If there is a player that gets close to him, I think the pitching puts him over the top. He's got over a 6 WAR season, so he's had a phenomenal year again, and he's just the best player in baseball. It's no doubt he's the best player in baseball, and I think he wins his fourth MVP this year. So some other players that you could say are in the running, I guess, because you're going to have someone finish second, third, fourth, fifth. I said, and this is in no particular order because I don't know how people are going to vote, but I think some other strong contenders are players like Juan Soto on the Mets, Pete Alonso, maybe Lindor, but Lindor hasn't had the best season. Corbin Carroll with the Diamondbacks has been phenomenal. Had kind of a resurgent season compared to last year, but they're not going to make the playoffs, so I don't really think he's going to get a ton of votes. And you've got Kyle Schwarber with the Phillies, which I think he'll get some votes for leading the National League in home run and RBIs, but his low batting average and the fact that he's really just a home run hitter, I think that, and the fact he also doesn't necessarily play good defense, I think that's going to hurt him, and he might finish second. I could see the voters picking him second. I don't think he deserves to be second. I think Pete Alonso's a guy who doesn't get, which I'm a Mets fan, so I'm biased, but I don't think he gets enough credit. He's second in the National League in RBIs. He hasn't hit as many homers as he has in the past. Juan Soto actually has more home runs on the Mets than Pete Alonso. But Pete's been a phenomenal hitter all year long. He's been the Mets' best hitter all year long. At one point, he was batting 340 with runners in scoring position. He's been the Mets' best hitter and kept the offense alive for most of the year when a lot of the rest of the offense was very putrid for the Mets. So I think he deserves more credit. I don't think he really deserves to win it. And I really think Shohei Ohtani is really the only player in the National League who deserves to win it. He's just head and shoulders above everyone else, and not really any other players had by far a great, outstanding season that could put them right there with him. So I think Shohei wins the National League MVP. The American League MVP, I've got Aaron Judge winning this. Now, this is a two-headed race. You can go one of two ways. It's either Aaron Judge or Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh has had a phenomenal season as a catcher. He's hit the most home runs ever in a single season as a catcher. He's at 53 right now, which leads all of Major League Baseball. I believe he's one away from tying Mickey Mantle's record for most home runs by a switch hitter. And if he could get to 60 home runs, or 62, he could potentially break the all-time American League home run record, and in a lot of people's eyes, the MLB home run record for a single season. And I think if he gets to 60, I think if Cal Raleigh can get to 60, I think he probably deserves to win MVP because just a phenomenal season to hit 60 home runs as a catcher. And being down on your knees all day for 130, 140 games during the season. That's a lot of wear and tear, and he's a good defensive catcher. He's helped the Mariners pitching staff and is known as a good pitch framer. So he is a good defensive valued player on the defensive side as well. So I think Cal Raleigh deserves to be in this conversation. But unless he hits the 60 home runs, Aaron Judge's numbers are just too good. Let me get Aaron Judge's numbers up. Aaron Judge is currently leading the American League in batting average at 323. He has 47 home runs, which is fourth in MLB. Second in second in the American League to Raleigh. He has 101 RBIs. He's got 120 runs scored this season. 440 on base percentage, 673 slugging, 1100 OPS. He's much better OPS than Shohei does this year. He's a 7.9 WAR player. Now, what's going to hurt him is missing a few games with an injury here recently. But Cal Raleigh, his batting average has just dipped from the All-Star break. He's batting 241 right now, and if that dips below 240, I don't see enough voters overlooking that to vote him MVP. I think if Cal Raleigh were to get to 60 home runs, he could maybe win MVP, but I don't see him doing that. I think this is Aaron Judge's award to win. And for just a fun aside, I put Bobby Witt Jr. as kind of the third place candidate because someone's going to finish third. But really, it's a two-headed race between Judge and Raleigh. But there's some other guys who are going to be in the running for that kind of third place spot, like a Bobby Witt Jr. or Bo Bichette or Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Tarek Skubal might get some MVP votes, or Riley Green with the Tigers. So that is the MVP race, but I think it's Aaron Judge's to win. Over to the Cy Young. I think the NL Cy Young this year is going to be Paul Skeens. He's been the best pitcher by far in the National League, possibly even baseball. He has been phenomenal. Let me where are his stats at. I had them pulled up here. There they are. He leads all of MLB with a 1.92 ERA. He's only 10-9 on the year in record-wise, but that's more to speak of his team and how bad they've been offensively for him. He has been the Jacob deGrom, the new Jacob deGrom in baseball, where he pitches phenomenally and his team just finds ways to lose the game or not get him a win. He's got 203 strikeouts, which is third overall in baseball, and it is first in the National League. Sorry, I'm looking at ESPN's stats, and they have strikeouts. They have all of the stats ranked by MLB rather than by league. So unless I go in and customize things and move stuff around, I'm gonna have to do some jumping back and forth to figure out where someone's ranked in their league. But he leads the National League in strikeouts, leads the National League in ERA. He only has 10 wins, which is not that great, but his team has just not been great. He's been the best pitcher by far in the National League. He might get some MVP votes, but he's going to be a lot further down the line than like someone like Shohei or Juan Soto. And the Pirates have just not been any good, so they're not in contention. But I think he's the Cy Young winner. He's been phenomenal. And some other guys that are in the running, and I think they could maybe close the gap, but Skeens would really need to struggle down the stretch here and lose a few games and maybe fall under 500 as a starter. That might cost him if he finishes under 500, has a losing record on the season. I think he could lose the Cy Young then. Be interesting to see how the voters view that. I know I would personally have trouble voting for a starting pitcher with a losing record to have the Cy Young. But I'm hopeful that he can have a winning record because I think he's the most deserving pitcher for this. Paul Skeens, I think he's the best pitcher, but there's a few others. Christopher Sanchez with the Phillies has had a great season. He's got a really good ERA. I think it's like 2.6 or something like that. 2.57. And he's got how many wins on the year? He's 13-5 on the year, 192 strikeouts. He has similar amount of innings pitched, I think, to Skeens. He's got 182, where Skeens has 178. So he has a little more innings than Skeens. And then the other guy that's on my radar is, where did he go? Freddie Peralta with the Brewers. I think he's a guy that's going to finish in the top three as well. He's 16-6 on the year. He's got tied for the most wins, or he might be by himself in the most wins in baseball. Now he's tied for the most wins in all of baseball. He has the most wins in the National League. He's got 185 strikeouts, so he's kind of right in that range with Sanchez. Skeens has over 200 though, and a much lower ERA, 2.69 ERA for Freddie Peralta. I think he's probably going to finish third, and Skeens is going to finish first. 1.92 ERA, 203 strikeouts, .92 WHIP. I think Skeens has got this. I think Christopher Sanchez and Freddie Peralta will be fighting for second place in this award. Moving on to the American League Cy Young, I've got Tarik Skubal winning this. Now, he left the game yesterday with an injury that they're saying it was left side tightness, or he had tightness in his side, and so they took him out as a precaution, and they're saying he's going to make his next start next Friday. So hopefully he's not actually injured. But he is the reigning AL Cy Young winner, and he's had a phenomenal year. He's got a 2.26 ERA. He's 13-5 on the year. He's had 19 quality starts. He's got 224 strikeouts, second in all of baseball in that. .86 WHIP, which leads the American League, actually leads all of baseball with that. I think he's the AL Cy Young. He's got 183 and 1/3 innings pitched, and he's got a WAR of 6.3. His contenders in the American League are Garrett Crochet of the Red Sox and Hunter Brown of the Astros. Now, let's go Hunter Brown because he's right there in ERA. He's second in ERA. He's actually Hunter Brown, after I think yesterday, passed him in ERA. He's at 2.25. He's just slightly ahead in ERA, but he's 11-7 on the year. He's pitched about 15 less innings, has about 30, and he has 34 less strikeouts. So I think he's still behind Skubal, and I think there's a little bit of fear and recognition in Skubal of he's the best pitcher, and until someone can just surpass him. So we'll see how this last month stretch of the season goes, and especially if Skubal can stay healthy, see where it goes. And then the other pitcher was Garrett Crochet with the Red Sox. He's 15-5 on the year with a 2.57 ERA, so his ERA is a little higher than those guys, but he's first in all baseball in strikeouts in 228, and that's what's got him in this conversation. And he's been a key success to the Red Sox having a resurgent season. So I think those guys are in contention, but I think Tarik Skubal wins the AL Cy Young, and I've got Paul Skeens with the NL Cy Young. On to the Rookie of the Year. I have, with the NL Rookie of the Year, I had to do a little looking at this. I've not kept up with the Rookie of the Year as much this year, but in the National League, there are several players, and I think all three of these guys could actually win this award. This is the NL Rookie of the Year is maybe the closest award in baseball right now being contended. And that's because we have, well, I'm going to try and pull up their stats. Bear with me. We're going to use average to find them. Well, I might not show up because I don't have enough at bats. So let's do it this way. Let me pull up their baseball reference page to make sure I get this. But I'm going to briefly, so I'll go ahead and tell you who they are. My NL Rookie of the Year candidates are Cade Horton, with pitcher for the Chicago Cubs, Isaac Collins of the Milwaukee Brewers, and Drake Baldwin of the Atlanta Braves. So those are my NL Rookie of the Year candidates. Sorry, I'm having trouble getting Baseball Reference to come up because I want to read off their stats so you can have your own opinions as to which guy you think should win. So let's get up Cade Horton's stats. Cade Horton is 10-4 on the year with a 2.7 ERA. He's started 20 games, pitched in 21. He's at 110 innings. Where are his strikeouts? Where are those at? 89 strikeouts to 32 walks. He's been a key part of the Cubs pitching staff. I think, was he an All-Star this year? No, he was not. But he's had a great season. 10-4 record as a rookie, 2.7 ERA. This guy looks like he could be a star in the league. At the moment, I think he's my favorite to win the NL Rookie of the Year. 10-4 record as a rookie with a 2.7 ERA. That's pretty good. Now, we've seen in the past with Rookie of the Year, it sometimes can be hard for a pitcher to win it unless they're really dominant, like Paul Skeens last year. So someone who plays every day could win it. Now the issue with that though is Isaac Collins and Drake Baldwin have not played from the beginning of the season until now. If they played 140 or in 150 games or whatever by the end of the season, they would maybe have a stronger argument for Rookie of the Year over the pitcher. It's the same reason that we struggle to see pitchers win MVP. That they're just not valued the same because they don't play every day, even though they do make a big impact on the game. But even though Isaac Collins and Drake Baldwin haven't played in a bunch of games, they haven't played. Well, actually, Isaac Collins has played more than I thought he had. He's played 122 games. He has a 274 batting average, 372 on base percentage, 429 slugging, 800 OPS plus 125. He's got 16 stolen bases on the year, 9 home runs to 54 RBIs, 54 runs scored, and 96 hits. I think he's a pretty solid player, and he was honestly who I kind of thought I was going to pick until I saw Cade Horton's stats, and I was like, I think I got to pick Cade Horton, just because 10-4 as a rookie starter I think is a little more impressive. But Isaac Collins has had a great year, and then Drake Baldwin, who my brother loves, who's a Braves fan, he loves this kid. He is also in contention for the Rookie of the Year. I think he's fallen off a little more recently, but he's a catcher. He's a good catcher, and he's had a pretty solid season. He's played 110 games. He's hit 15 home runs, so he has more than Collins there. 266 batting average, a little lower. On base percentage 337, slugging 433, 769 OPS, 116 OPS plus. He's got 64 RBIs on the year. 45 runs scored, 93 hits, no stolen bases. So it's kind of one of those, do you take the guy who hits for a little more power here and is a catcher, so there's a little more weighted value perhaps there? Do you take Isaac Collins, or do you take the starting pitcher and Cade Horton? Now, what position does Isaac Collins as a left fielder? I was about to say, I thought he was an outfielder. And I think I'm going to go with Cade Horton. I think he has the 10-4 as a rookie. I think gets him the NL Rookie of the Year vote. But I think Isaac Collins and Drake Baldwin are still right there with him, and it still could be anyone's award. Like I said, I think this is arguably the closest award in baseball being contended right now, because it just kind of seems up for grabs that anyone can win this. And the AL Rookie of the Year, I've got Nick Kurtz of the No City Named Athletics. And I call them that because they play in Sacramento, but they're not using Sacramento Athletics. They're just calling themselves the Athletics. He has had a phenomenal season as a rookie for the Oakland/Sacramento Athletics. He has, where are his stats? He's hit 299 on the year with 30 home runs, 74 RBIs, 77 runs scored, 393 on base percentage, 620 slugging, over 1,000 OPS, and played first base for the Athletics. I think he wins Rookie of the Year. I think the home runs, the RBIs, the runs scored, the fact that he's hit for a high average, has a high on base, high slugging, high OPS, I think he wins this award pretty easily. So I'm picking Nick Kurtz to win the AL Rookie of the Year. But I think some contenders are players like Jacob Wilson, his teammate, who is a shortstop and actually got to play in the All-Star game, and then Roman Anthony for the Red Sox, who has come up and hit for a pretty good average and hit with a little power and been kind of a spark plug in their offense over the second half of the season, has helped the Red Sox, soar their way back into playoff contention. But I think Nick Kurtz is head and shoulders above those two guys because of the home runs and the batting average. Now, Jacob Wilson is in contention for the batting title. So as a rookie, he might win the batting title and still lose Rookie of the Year to his teammate Nick Kurtz, who has the more home runs and the higher slugging and whatnot, and higher on base percentage. But I think it's going to be an interesting Rookie of the Year there as well. You got several good players, and then on to the Manager of the Year award. I picked Pat Murphy to win it for the National League. I think his former player and former manager, he coached him when Craig Counsell he coached him when he was at Notre Dame. Pat Murphy coached Craig Counsell. Craig Counsell's now with the Cubs. He was the former manager of the Brewers when Pat Murphy was their bench coach. Craig Counsell, I think, is runner-up this year. I think he's had a great year with the Cubs. And this award actually might just come down to who wins that division. I think the Brewers, though, are going to lock it up, and I'm going to give it to Pat Murphy. No, they were expected by a lot of people to not be as good. People like me didn't have them in the playoffs. Or did I? I don't there were a lot of people that didn't pick them to make the playoffs, regardless of whether I picked them or not. There was a lot of people that had them missing the playoffs, and Pat Murphy's got them back there. Their pitching's good. They play sound ball. They have good defense. I think he wins NL Manager of the Year. The American League Manager of the Year, I'm picking John Schneider of the Toronto Blue Jays. This was a team that I wrote off. I had picked them to make the playoffs the last few years. They let me down, and I was just like, they're not going to make the playoffs. And John Schneider has proved me wrong. They have had a good team. They've had decent pitching, and their offense has been really good with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Bo Bichette has had kind of a resurgent season. Not the power years not kind of a power year that you want, but all around he's been a good shortstop, at least hitting wise. I think John Schneider wins AL Manager of the Year. Now in contention, I think AJ Hinch is right there kind of with him. The Tigers are a team that I didn't pick to win the AL Central. I was kind of going in on the Royals, thinking that they're going to be the team to win the AL Central. But the Tigers have been phenomenal all season in contending for the number one seed in the AL. So I think AJ Hinch deserves to be right there with him, but I'm going to give the edge to John Schneider just because so many people, like myself, did not see them as a playoff team or that good at all. So I'm going with John Schneider. Those are my picks for the MLB awards. That's kind of my watch at the moment. When the season gets to the end again, we'll look again at this and see who I would pick. I was going to talk a little bit on the regular season and whatnot, but this video is already over 20 minutes. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.